The Texas sun barely crests the horizon, already promising brutal heat. Rows of military vehicles stretch across the asphalt, Humvees, supply trucks, MRAPs, all waiting for maintenance. The motor pool buzzes with activity. Engines revving, air wrenches hissing, soldiers shouting over the noise. Specialist Maya Torres, 28, walks through the gate, her ACU uniform crisp despite the early hour, dark hair pulled into a severe regulation bun. She carries a worn leather tool bag that's seen better days. Her expression is neutral, guarded, the face of someone who's learned not to react. Near Bay 3, a group of soldiers cluster around a coffee thermos. Sergeant Bryce Kellerman, 32, all swagger and muscle, spots Maya first. He nudges Corporal Danny Reeves, 24, and Private First Class Jason Miles, 22. Bryce, and here comes the diversity hire. Danny, grinning, seriously, who approved a woman for heavy vehicle maintenance? This ain't changing oil on a Honda Civic. Jason, my sister's boyfriend's cousin, knew a girl in the motor pool once. Lasted 3 weeks. Maya continues toward her assigned bay, tools clinking with each step. She's learned the hard way that responding only makes it worse. Bryce, calling out, "Hey Torres, you sure you don't want to transfer to admin? Heard they need someone to file paperwork. Much more suitable." Maya, not looking back, "I'm good where I am, Sergeant." Bryce, to his friends, "She's good where she is. Hear that? Give her 2 weeks before she's crying to the commander about how hard the job is." Staff Sergeant Rachel Chen, 35, a no-nonsense Korean-American woman with 20 years in the Army, emerges from the operations office. She shoots Bryce a warning look. "Rachel Kellerman, unless you've finished the maintenance reports from last week, I suggest you find something productive to do." Bryce, straightening slightly, "Yes, Staff Sergeant." Rachel walks over to Maya, who's already laying out tools on a rolling cart with practiced efficiency. Rachel, quietly, "You okay?" Maya, shrugging, "Same circus, different day." Rachel, "You've got the Humvee in Bay 7. Transmission's slipping. Command wants it operational by 1400. Maya, "I'll have it done by noon." Rachel, "I know you will." And Maya, "Don't let these knuckleheads get to you. Half of them couldn't diagnose a flat tire without a manual." Rachel heads back to the office. Maya allows herself a small smile before grabbing her tools and heading to Bay 7. The bay is a concrete cavern smelling of motor oil, grease, and metal. The Humvee sits on the lift, already raised. Maya slides underneath on a creeper board, flashlight in hand. She examines the transmission, running her fingers along the housing, checking for leaks. Her movements are confident, methodical, the work of someone who knows exactly what they're doing. Maya, muttering to herself, "Transmission cooler lines. There you are." She slides out, makes notes on a clipboard, then begins gathering the tools she'll need. As she works, we see glimpses of her past through her precise movements. This isn't someone who learned mechanics in the Army. This is someone who grew up with grease under their fingernails. The sun climbs higher. Heat waves shimmer off the asphalt. Maya works steadily, pausing only to wipe sweat from her forehead. Bryce and his crew pass by, carrying parts to another bay. "Bryce, how's it going, Torres? Need us to send someone who knows what they're doing?" Danny, probably looking at the repair manual trying to figure out what a transmission is. Maya doesn't respond. She's elbow-deep in the engine compartment, removing bolts with swift, practiced movements. Jason, "My money's on her giving up before lunch." Kellerman, "You taking bets?" Bryce, "Nah, that'd be like betting the sun's gonna rise. Too easy." They laugh and move on. Maya's jaw tightens, but her hands never stop working. Maya wipes her hands on a rag, examining the old transmission cooler lines she's just removed. They're cracked and leaking. She heads to the parts cage. Specialist Marcus Jackson, 30, a tall black soldier with kind eyes, mans the cage. Unlike the others, he treats Maya with respect. Marcus Torres, "What do you need?" Maya, "Transmission cooler lines for a 2015 M1151. And I'll need the upgraded kit, not the standard replacement." Marcus, impressed, "Someone did their homework." You know we've had 3 failures on those standard lines this month? Maya, that's why I'm ordering the upgrade. Marcus, grinning as he retrieves the parts. You know, you're making some of these guys look real bad. Kellerman spent 4 hours on a brake job yesterday that should have taken 90 minutes. Maya, small smile. Don't tell him that. His ego's fragile enough. Marcus laughs and hands over the parts. As Maya turns to leave, he calls out, Marcus, hey, Torres? For what it's worth, you're the best mechanic we've got in this unit. Don't let anyone tell you different. Maya, genuine smile, thanks, Jackson. That actually means something. Maya is finishing up the installation, torquing bolts to spec with a calibrated wrench. The heat is oppressive now, and her uniform is soaked with sweat and stained with grease. She doesn't notice Lieutenant Colonel James Morrison, 48. The battalion commander, entering the motor pool with Major Sarah Phillips, 42. They're doing a routine inspection walking through the bays. Morrison is a decorated officer with a no-nonsense demeanor but fair reputation. Phillips, his operations officer, carries a clipboard and briefs him as they walk. They pass Bryce's bay, where he and Danny are working on a truck that clearly should have been finished already. Morrison's Sergeant Kellerman. Status? Bryce, snapping to attention. Sir. Almost done, sir. Had some complications with the fuel system. Morrison nods but doesn't look entirely convinced. They move on, eventually reaching Bay 7. Maya is so focused on her work, now lowering the Humvee from the lift, that she doesn't hear them approach. Morrison, soldier. Maya spins around, immediately coming to attention. Maya, sir. Morrison, at ease. What's your status on this vehicle? Maya, transmission cooler lines replaced with the upgraded kit. Sir. I identified premature wear on the torque converter as well, likely from running hot due to the failed lines. I've documented it for future service. Morrison, impressed. Proactive diagnosis. That's good work. When will it be operational? Maya, I'm doing final checks now, sir. It'll be ready in 30 minutes, well ahead of the 1400 deadline. Phillips, checking her clipboard. This was assigned at 0700. You completed a full transmission line replacement in under 6 hours? Maya, yes, ma'am. The work itself wasn't complex, just needed the right parts and proper attention to detail. Morrison nods approvingly. He walks around the Humvee, inspecting Maya's work. Everything is clean, organized, professional. Morrison, your name, specialist? Maya Torres, sir. Maya Torres. Morrison, well, Specialist Torres, this is exactly the kind of work I expect from my soldiers. How long have you been in the motor pool? Maya, 6 months at Fort Harrison, sir. 2 years in motor pool operations total. Morrison, your previous duty station? Maya, Fort Bragg, sir. 82nd Airborne Support Battalion. Phillips, making a note. Impressive credentials. Morrison, well, carry on. Excellent work. Maya salutes. Morrison and Phillips turn to leave. Just as they do, Maya bends down to pick up a drop tool, and her uniform shirt pulls tight across her back. Morrison glances back casually, then stops dead in his tracks. His eyes widen, fixed on something visible beneath Maya's shirt, the distinct outline of a tattoo through the damp fabric. Morrison, voice changed, quieter. Specialist Torres. Maya straightens up, turning around. Something in his tone makes her tense. Maya, sir? Morrison exchanges a loaded glance with Phillips, who looks confused. He steps closer, his expression unreadable. Morrison, that tattoo on your back. When did you get it? Maya's face goes carefully blank. This is personal territory, and she's not sure why a battalion commander is asking. Maya, cautiously, 12 years ago, sir. Before I enlisted. Morrison, may I ask? What is it? Maya hesitates. The motor pool has gone quiet around them. Other soldiers are watching now, including Bryce and his crew from across the bay. Maya, it's a military insignia, sir. 75th Ranger Regiment. With a date. The silence that follows is profound. Phillips's eyes widen. Morrison's face has gone pale. Morrison, what date? Maya, very quietly. April 17, 2013, sir. Morrison takes a step back, steadying himself against the Humvee. Phillips moves to support him, alarmed. Philip, sir, are you all right? Morrison, voice thick. April 17th, 2013. That was the day we lost 7 Rangers in Kandahar. Ambush on a convoy. Maya, barely above a whisper. Yes, sir. Morrison, I was the company commander that day. The weight of those words hangs in the air. Other soldiers have crept closer now, sensing something significant is happening. Morrison, which ranger? Maya's eyes glisten, but she maintains her composure. Maya, Staff Sergeant David Torres. He was my older brother. Morrison closes his eyes. When he opens them, they're red. Morrison, David Torres. My God, he saved 4 lives that day. Threw himself over an IED to protect his team. He was one of the bravest men I ever served with. Maya, voice cracking. I know, sir. I was 16 when I got the notification. The tattoo. It's his regiment insignia with the date. I got it the day I turned 18. To remember, to honor him. Morrison, shaking his head in wonder. You were his little sister. He talked about you all the time. Showed us pictures. Said you were the toughest kid he knew, always in the garage helping your dad work on cars. Maya, tears flowing now, he taught me everything. Every weekend we'd work on his truck together. He said I had better hands for mechanical work than anyone in his platoon. Morrison's own composure breaks. Tears stream down his face as he closes the distance and, in a break from military. Maya, sobbing, I joined because of him. I wanted to serve like he did. To be as good as he was. Morrison, pulling back, hands on her shoulders. You already are. The way you work, your dedication, your skill, that's David's legacy living on. By now, the entire motor pool has gathered. Even Bryce stands silent, his earlier smugness completely gone, replaced by shame. Phillips, quietly, Sir, I served in Afghanistan too, but I didn't know about this incident. Morrison, to the assembled soldiers, April 17, 2013. 7 Rangers died protecting a supply convoy near Kandahar. Staff Sergeant David Torres identified an IED buried in the road. Instead of calling out a warning and diving for cover, he ran forward and threw himself over it. The blast killed him instantly, but the 4 Rangers behind him survived. He received the Medal of Honor posthumously. A collective intake of breath from the gathered soldiers. Bryce looks like he wants to disappear into the concrete. Morrison, still to the group, and this soldier standing before us? She's carrying on that legacy. She joined the army to honor her brother's sacrifice. And from what I've seen today, she's doing it with the same excellence he showed every single day. He turns back to Maya, wiping his eyes. Morrison, Specialist Torres. I want you to know something. Your brother saved my life that day. I was in the vehicle directly behind him. If he hadn't given that warning, if he hadn't acted, I wouldn't be standing here. I've thought about David and the others every single day for 12 years. Maya, voice shaking. He always said the most important thing was protecting your people. No matter what. Morrison, he lived that creed. And died for it. Morrison composes himself, straightening into commander mode, though his voice remains emotional. Morrison, addressing everyone. Let me be crystal clear. Specialist Torres has proven herself to be an outstanding soldier and mechanic. Anyone who has a problem with that can schedule a meeting with me personally. Is that understood? Everyone, yes, sir. Morrison, Staff Sergeant Chun. Rachel steps forward quickly. Rachel, sir. Morrison, I want Specialist Torres considered for the next vehicle mechanic of the quarter board. I'll be writing the recommendation personally. Rachel, yes, sir. Morrison turns back to Maya one last time. Morrison, your brother would be proud. Maya. So damn proud. Maya, saluting. Thank you, sir. That means everything. Morrison returns the salute crisply. Then he and Phillips walk toward the exit. The assembled soldiers slowly disperse, many casting new, respectful glances at Maya. Bryce approaches hesitantly. Danny and Jason hang back, shamefaced. Bryce, struggling with the words. Torres, look, I was way out of line. All those things I said. Maya, cutting him off, you didn't know. Bryce, that's not an excuse. You shouldn't have had to prove anything. You were doing your job, doing it better than most of us, and I was too stubborn and stupid to see it. He extends his hand. Maya looks at it for a moment, then shakes it. Bryce, your brother sounds like he was an incredible soldier. Maya, he was also an incredible person. Bryce, for what it's worth, I think he'd be proud of how you handled us jackasses. Maya allows herself a real smile. Maya, he'd probably say I went too easy on you. Bryce laughs. A genuine sound without the earlier mockery. Bryce, yeah, probably. He walks away, and Maya turns back to her work. Marcus approaches with a bottle of water. Marcus, here. You look like you need this. Maya, taking it gratefully. Thanks, Jackson. Marcus, your brother. I read about that ambush in training. The instructor used it as an example of selfless service. I had no idea. Maya, most people don't. I don't exactly advertise it. Marcus, why'd you come to the motor pool? With your family's connection to the Rangers, you could have gone infantry, tried for RASP. Maya, looking at the Humvee. David and I, we bonded over fixing things, making things work. When he deployed, I promised I'd follow in his footsteps, but in my own way. He protected people with his rifle. I protect them by making sure their vehicles don't fail when they need them most. Marcus, that's a good way to honor him. Maya, I think so too. Rachel approaches, smiling. Rachel Torres, finish up here and head to my office. We need to start your mechanic of the quarter packet. Maya, Staff Sergeant, you don't have to. Rachel, the commander's right. You're the best mechanic in this pool, probably the best in the battalion. It's time everyone recognized that officially. Maya nods, emotion welling up again. Rachel and Maya, your brother would be proud. Not just of your skills, but of your character. You could have thrown Kellerman's behavior in his face, demanded discipline. Instead, you showed grace. Maya, that's what David would have done. Rachel, then he raised you right. The sun begins its descent, painting the sky orange and purple. Maya completes her final checks on the Humvee, closes the hood with a satisfying thunk, and makes notes on her maintenance log. She catches her reflection in the Humvee's polished hood. Tired, dirty, but standing tall. She thinks of David, of his laugh, his lessons, his sacrifice, of the tattoo on her back that she carries like armor. Maya, softly to herself, thanks for always having my six, big brother. She grabs her tools and walks toward the wash station, passing soldiers who now nod respectfully, acknowledging her not as a woman in the motor pool, but as a soldier who earned her place. As she walks, we see the tattoo through her wet shirt one more time. The 75th Ranger Regiment insignia, beautifully detailed with the date April 17, 2013 underneath, and a single word, Guardian. This story is dedicated to all military personnel who serve in the shadows of fallen heroes, carrying forward their legacy through dedication, skill, and unwavering commitment. The legacy of heroes is the memory of a great name and the inheritance of a great example. Benjamin Disraeli. This screenplay explores themes of prejudice, legacy, sacrifice, and redemption. Maya Torres represents countless service members who face discrimination while quietly excelling at their duties, driven by personal missions that others may never see or understand. Her brother David's sacrifice echoes the real heroism displayed by service members every day, and Maya's choice to honor him through excellence rather than seeking recognition demonstrates the highest ideals of military service. The motor pool setting serves as a microcosm of larger societal issues, the assumption that gender determines capability, the tendency to judge before understanding, and the power of revealed truth to change hearts and minds. Maya never needed to prove herself. She was always capable. But the revelation of her connection to a fallen hero forces her detractors to confront their own prejudices. Ultimately, this is a story about carrying forward the light of those we've lost, about finding our own way to honor sacrifice, and about the quiet strength required to persevere when others doubt you.